Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Science of SaaS Startups podcast. Today, I'm talking to Omer Shirazi. Omer is the co-founder and COO of EasySend. EasySend is a no-code platform which converts manual processes into digital customer experiences. Omer, welcome.
Hey, how are you, Ben? Thank you for having me.
Very good. So I just want to kick off with a few questions just to help the audience get to know you a little bit. So if someone was going to write a book or a movie about your life so far, do you want it to be a comedy, an inspirational drama, a self-help, or maybe a romance?
Definitely a comedy.
Yeah.
Everything needs to, it's always in a comedy light. That's the perspective. That's the best way to look at things.
So you don't take yourself too seriously?
Never.
I think it's a good perspective to have, especially, you know, when you start getting successful and things like that. Still need that humility, don't you?
Hopefully in the future when we start getting more and more successful.
Okay, so the next one. Were there any foods which you hated as a child, which you now love, or which you still refuse to eat as an adult?
So today I'm eating everything like almost everything. I don't remember anything that I would not say I will not eat, but I still eat kosher. So I'm not eating any kind of seafoods or stuff like that. As a kid, I know that I was problematic. I remember a few things. I know that there were some other things that they told me that I didn't eat. So I didn't eat mushrooms at all. I didn't eat avocado. I had some sort of a texturing issue. And even when I got older, I didn't eat spinach. But today I have no problem with all of them. And actually I don't know why did you ask us, but one of my bigger hobbies is cooking. I love cooking. I see in YouTube, this is all I see, like cooking shows, and it's one of my places to escape. Like I really like cooking I always said that after my first exit, I will be a cook. I would just go work in that.
Well, to be honest, there's huge businesses like tech businesses in the kind of food industry, food and beverage now. Like, I don't know in Israel, but like in the UK, we've got these companies like Hello Fresh and like Gusto, and where they kind of deliver you a set amount of
like Blue Apron, Blue Apron and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. You're right.
Yeah, and they're kind of huge businesses over here. Kind of feels a bit like perhaps the future of how things are going to work now. So
everybody is a foodies.
I know. Yeah, well, it's great because you can eat really well and you don't have to do any planning or, you know, worrying about waste or anything like that. So it works quite well. I like it. But...
I love it.
So if you had to delete all of your apps except for one on your phone, which one do you keep?
So I don't have much. Like I don't have many. Honestly, I don't have many games, but I think that it would be somewhere around my like WhatsApp probably, because I need to talk to my wife somewhere, and maybe Gmail. So that's the two ones that will keep. I don't have many applications on my phone. I find it time consuming. I'm trying to be.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've been thinking recently about maybe like going back to like an old school mobile phone that just does like calls and text messages.
That would be. But my work is so dependent on that. Like I can literally work for days only for my mobile phone. You need to put it aside. You know, when you're coming back and you want to sit down with with my daughter, for example, or something like that, I can't hold my phone in one hand and be with her. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've been thinking about it, but like when you think of like the logistics of how you would actually do it, it's quite a complicated thing because, like you say, WhatsApp and email, like there's kind of certain things that you actually need to be connected.
No, it's an amazing tool to drive yourself to work faster and better, but it's the way you use it.
Yeah, just got to be, you know, measured with it, I guess. So if we think about the metaverse, do you kind of look forward to kind of taking part in that and getting involved, or do you want to avoid it for as long as possible?
Well, that's a really good question. I don't know much about it. I've been talking about it with some friends, and I even went in for to Sandbox, which is the competitor, and I'm not sure. I don't know. I wonder how it will be. Like, I think that working from there every day, or building an office space there, which some companies are doing, or buying NFT-based like assets. I'm not there yet. I don't understand it yet, and I don't understand how it's going to work. But I would say that I'm typically an early adopter. For that, I will wait a bit.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, well, hopefully, like, the audience has got more of a sense of you as a person now. So if we jump into EasySend, do you want to kick things off, giving us like an overview of the company and what you're trying to do?
Amazing company. Sure, yeah. So I think we are now on our 6th year. And we started off bootstrapping, as you know, for 3.5 years before we started our fundraising. And then we raised Series seed round and round A and now round B. And EasySend is growing rapidly. And we're focusing now 3 main regions. We actually opened our APAC market as well. And we now have even a team in Sydney, in Australia. And we're mostly focusing the United States. This is our main growing market. And the third thing is obviously that we want to make sure that our product is top-notch, best product there is, not in order to create better customer experience and help big organizations, and especially financial institutes, to give better customer experience to your customers. So no more paper phone, no more bad interactions with your customers. Each time that you're going to have an interaction with your customer, it's supposed to drive NPS score to the roof. And customers these days need better, especially with Corona, that they can move around and everything is done remotely. You need better tools to do that. And I think EasySend one of the best solutions to do that right now. So this is what we are focusing, and where we are heading. I think we see our customers, we see how they are using the product. So we don't feel anymore that we're trying to do something. We know that we are doing it. Transactions wise, we see it just used more and more around the globe, and we see us getting open to more and more new use cases, and companies are taking us and starting to use us as some sort of a core platform, really that platform to create digital processes for the organization. I think this is something that we're doing in an amazing way. So I think we're expanding more and more, and we are going to a better place in awareness, and hopefully to somewhere in the next 3 years to be a big company somewhere on after an IPO, or I'm not sure. I don't know about that, but it will be I know that it will be a big firm.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, forms have really come to kind of dominate the world, and they're an especially big part of the internet and the way that we engage with companies. And I think customers almost see it as a necessary evil. It's kind of like the price they pay to engage with a company, to have to give them all of their data. Do you see this as a way for companies to kind of really differentiate themselves and kind of build value with their customer, like right at the very beginning of the relationship?
So I think, first of all, it's not the customer, not the company's fault, right? There is regulation, there is the way to do things. And when a customer needs to react with it, or to do any kind of action with a company, there needs to be some actions need to be done. And then you need to ask yourself, what is the best way to do that? So I think definitely this is a differentiator, and this is definitely what customers should look for in when they're picking their insurance company or bank, to make sure that they have the right digital tools. And when you do that, I think every company worldwide, especially in financial sector, will tell you that they are getting in touch with numerous of drag and drop or other suppliers, and not all projects are successful. Some of even big amount of those projects are not succeeding. So I think you need to pick the right one, and when it happens, I think that's a great win for both. The ROI will be amazing, and the customer journey that you will create will just be something that can serve your customer for a very long period of time, and with a low effort from your end.
And EasySend is to some extent a family business, right? Because like your brother is the CTO. Can you give us a sense of those kind of early conversations and how the idea of EasySend kind of first came into being?
So it started from me and Tal. I started off as a customer service representative in Talman Al Dubi, and Tal was there 3 months before me. He helped me adjust to the new environment and learn the job and what I need to do. And after a few months, we started talking about the usage of manual forms and people calling to ask if a fax arrived. And we understand there is a big gap there. And then we decided to pick up the glove and just do something. I programmed the first solution. We sold it to Hellman. My background is a bit technical, but then very, very early we understood that, hey, we need somebody really strong technology-wise to help us through it. And we knew from the beginning that Tal will be the CEO. He's born for it, to lead the company forward, and he's doing an amazing job. And I always been in sales, and then we wanted to have some sort of a technology arm, and we looked, like thousands of people until we saw Iran. So Iran was there. It was our brother.
He's the last choice.
Yeah, he's amazing. He came from 80 to 100. This is all he did since he was 10. All he did always was programming, and he already had an amazing background in Anydo, where he was one of the first employees. So he was the obvious choice, and he helped us at the beginning, push us through it, and then he joined us, and from then it's all one big family, me, Tal, and Eran.
Yeah, good stuff. And we talked earlier how this is like a no-code solution that you've got. So in the customers that you're selling to, who's your typical user?
Inside of the company, like internally, the company itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are typically working with few departments, some sort of a business department that usually drives on rolling it out. Basically, the processes themselves, it's claim department or enrollments or life or P&C, and there will be always somebody from IT that taking ownership on that. So typically our champions will be from IT intelligence, and it will be somebody that in charge. Usually our best buyer is somebody that is in charge of software in the organization, that can buy software and in charge of applications. That's our best place. And then it will usually embrace it and start building teams around it that will train and start building more and more processes. With us, you can actually build hundreds of processes a quarter if you're doing it right.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because I kind of still remember a time just about before COVID existed. And I remember that digital transformation was a big topic even before COVID existed. But when COVID and Corona came along, it really kind of poured petrol on that whole fire, and everything just really exploded in the last 18 months. I mean, it seems like you guys are very well placed to kind of take advantage of that at the moment, right?
I agree with you, but in the same time, again, it changed the way that those organizations are working, and insurance companies and banks all around the world did an amazing job adapting to the new normal. And I think they are getting approached much more right now. So their buying habits are changing a little bit. So we need to adjust to that. But we're definitely there. We definitely become one of the hottest technologies out there because of COVID. But I believe that now it's the new normal. It will not change. It will not go back.
And in terms of like your competitive landscape, is your biggest competitor just like corporate inertia? So that kind of, this is the way we've always done it in the past? Or are there kind of other technology solutions coming at this from a different angle? So
if you don't have any competitors, like other companies that are doing things that are similar to you, so probably you don't do something right. So obviously we have competitors, and they are very, very strong as well. And we feel very good in our atmosphere, in this kind of atmosphere. But in the same time, you're absolutely right. We rarely see competitors in deals. And we always get to a point which is make or buy. And always buy is the more economy and the better solution, but there's always the questions around that. And I think it's still educating the market about our solution, educating about what you can do with EasySend, and making sure that we keep doing a good job, so our customer will keep referring, will drive our referral and become our referrals.
Yeah. Okay. So if we move to talking about like the startup life and the kind of journey that you've been on. So overall, you've raised, I think, just over $71 million so far across kind of seed, Series A and Series B. And you've raised two rounds, your last two rounds in, approximately the last 12 months, in probably like the most vibrant investment scene that I've ever seen in the software industry. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience of raising funds there? I mean, I'm interested, even particularly, did you notice any differences between when you raised your Series A 12 months ago and your Series B very recently? Did you notice any difference in that year?
So first, I'm not the point person on that. I think this is something that Tal drove, and he's leading all fundraising activities in the company. I can say that for sure there was a difference, but I would say that when you have an amazing investors like we have, they're always looking for data, and it's not something that changed. I think any of our investors from Hanaco, Vertex, Intel, and Oak are all amazing and are active investors in our company, and I see them as great believers in what we do. So in this case, I would say that I think that for me it was an amazing experience and a good one. But I'll drove it, so I think this is something that I will divert to him if he was here. Sorry.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Don't worry. So, I mean, in terms of that kind of startup journey, and you're trying to find a product market fit, like how long did that take? How many companies did you talk to or work with before you started selling the product?
So this definitely varies between the different markets. I think my job definitely changed over the years. So I would say that I opened at least 4 or 5 markets already in the company, and each of them was in a different stage of the company. So the answers change between them. So I think now opening, for example, the APAC market, we already know everything. We have our methodologies, and we brought an amazing VP sales there that drives us to success. And then we see it's very easy for us to penetrate this market because we already know all the know-how from other markets, and we're bringing the right opportunities from day one. We know what kind of marketing efforts we need to put, and this is all lining up. So we can see that the penetration going like in an amazing way. I think when our first market that we tried to open was Germany and United States, and it was 2.5 years ago, and it was slower because we had different capabilities and less efforts, and we did we had a big learning curve. So we did talk to a lot of different sectors, a lot of different customers, a lot of different influencers to understand more. But now we really know where our product market fit is and which companies can utilize this and in the best way.
And how do you strike that balance between kind of iterating in those early days and kind of changing, your product for each customer you're talking to versus this is the solution, we see this has got a broad appeal?
So first of all, now EasySend is a very robust solution. So most of our customers, when starting to use it right now, doesn't really need or asking for any kind of product changes, and it just it is what it is. This is exactly what they need. Like our solution is really suitable for banking and insurance from tier 1 and tier A companies, and it's tailor-made for them. So when they're asking if they can do something in our solution, the answer will typically be yes out of the box, because we know this kind of fields already so well. And where there is product gaps, again, we have amazing R&D team and product teams, and we just think about it and ask other customers if they need it as well, and if so, we execute it. So the product right now is more steady and more stable. I agree with you. But in the same time, we're still growing to different sectors, and then it will change a bit more and will become more diverse and more robust.
Okay. So I'm interested, like at this stage in your growth journey, like what gets you more excited? You know, great adoption or great customer feedback, or winning like a big new customer? Like where do you get the biggest buzz at the moment?
So first of all, like, we're getting an amazing buzz even internally. Like we have an amazing teams here, amazing people are working in this, and it's growing. 120 people around the globe. Already more than 20 people on US foot on the ground. I mean, and so this is first just to look inside and see what we build, and amazing management team. So this is making me very happy and ecstatic. Sales is amazing profession. Again, bringing in a huge new customer is always great, and we have that on a regular basis when we're bringing big clients and big insurance, and it's always amazing to talk about it. And I think product adoption is the best one, though. It's making us the happiest. Like when you see a customer starting to use it, and suddenly they have 1,000 transactions a day, different use cases. I think that's the best way to describe it. This is really describing success when somebody is building a process by himself, deploying it, and their customers starting to use it. That just shows everything.
Sort of validates everything that you've been doing. Yeah. Okay. So we live in a world now where there are kind of hundreds and thousands of exciting startups. You know, everybody's got an innovative solution. Like everyone's on that exciting growth journey. Everyone is trying to grow and competing for that kind of fixed pool of talent. How do you kind of differentiate yourself to potential new employees in that environment?
Market is tough right now. I think we have so many people that coming and they say that are interviewing to 7 other places. And that's not easy. I think we're trying to diverse ourselves with our DNA and explaining to them how is it to be an EasySender, and what does it take and what does it mean, and to build the right environment for our employees to be successful. Mm-hmm. And not everybody weighted it in the right way, but I think this is something that is working for us. And I think recruiting from friendlies, like people that know people internally, is always a very, very good solution for that. And I think we're being very successful with that. But you're right, the market is crazy right now, and this is something that is understandable, and we're doing our best.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of an issue that everybody's kind of realizing that they need to adapt and try and do what they can to make themselves stand out. In terms of kind of building that culture as you grow, are you, like you mentioned, you're growing a lot in America at the moment. Are you kind of trying to build like an office and build a team and a culture there, or is it like a remote first kind of approach that you're taking?
It's remote first right now. We are quite all over the place. Like we have employees in many states. But we are totally there. We want to build and to open an office in the United States. I think it is something that is asked for, and we want to be there. Still, Corona is. I really hope that the Corona will be over, and then traveling will be easier, and then we can do that, and be, even myself, be more on US soil. And this is something that we totally want to be there, and I'm looking forward to this time.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously, in that startup, things can be incredibly chaotic. You know, you can have a million different things to do at any one time. Like when you wake up in the morning, how do you kind of prioritize? Like, how do you decide where to put your focus on any given day?
That's a good question. I think that. First of all, I have my own role, so I'm managing sales, pre-sale, and customer success around the globe. So I'm not doing anything outside of those boundaries. And I think I use different tools to manage my my day-to-day. But overall, I think my day-to-day is pretty basic. talking to my managers, asking them what kind of help they're doing, what's new, and how can we push forward, and then working mostly with management team on strategic things to push the company forward. So I think I'm trying to split my day-to-day between the tactics of the day-to-day and the strategic of tomorrow. And I think from these days, I'm putting much more effort on the strategic part.
Okay, so even with the kind of market as crazy as it is, you're able to carve time to kind of focus on that strategy.
Most of my time, like my managers are really taking things to their own hands, and they know what they're doing, and they're very successful. And I'm really finding myself having more and more time these days to do strategic things.
Yeah, no, I think it's crucial, isn't it? You get those hires right, and then it just kind of opens up time for you to do the things that really matter for the future of the business. So last question, what would your message be for any kids out there who've got a big idea and no idea what to do with it? Like what are the practical steps that someone can take to get them on the right path?
It's a hard question. I guess I think honestly I wouldn't say don't do it. I think startup is an amazing place to grow personally. So I think it's a really good path to take. I think it can be something that really takes a lot of things out of you, and I like it personally. So I think I would say give it a go, but in the same time I would say that they need to understand the consequences and find the right team and think it over and not jump too fast into it. So just do your market research and focus a lot about your product, because this is what wins the war. Basically, in the end, product is everything.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, it's been great having you on, Omer. Thank you for joining us. If people want to get in touch and talk about EasySend, like where do you live? Are you on email, on LinkedIn? Like where do you spend your time?
Everywhere, and to our website, and just please come forward, and we would like to share information and talk with anybody. We would love that. We're happy to do that every day.
Okay, perfect. I really appreciate your time. Thanks, Omer.
Thank you.